Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to discuss reading and writing fill in the blanks. Not only I will discuss reading and writing fill in the blanks, actually I will solve some questions in front of you so that you can get some ideas about how to apply the tips and tricks I have discussed in many other videos as well. And for this, I'll be using our own mock test platform, which is the one that we provide to all of our enrolled students. So let's get it started. So as you can see, this is the student dashboard for people who are enrolled in our courses. And as this particular user is enrolled in two courses, PTA Academic Face-to-Face and PTA Mock Test, you can see the two courses listed here. And if you want to find out what is inside this course or how much the person has progressed in the course, you can simply click on this and find out. But because today we are not actually discussing that, let me go inside the mock test part by clicking on it. Once I click on the mock test, this is the dashboard I will see. And if I have done questions before, that means mock test before, then I can see my performance in listening, writing, reading, and speaking. Not just that, I can see some graphs here which shows my performance over time, along with the performance breakdown for the particular types of questions as well, which is a very good way to find out where you stand, how much you have improved over time. For this particular video, I'm going to do reading mock mini. And what is mock mini? Mock mini is similar to mock test, but the difference between mock mini and a mock test is when you are doing mock mini test, you are just doing one particular section of the test rather than the entire test. The benefit of this is more for those people who cannot get 3 hours block to practice the mock test, to get the feedback on their performance, to find out where they stand, or to learn the time management. So without doing the entire mock test, I can still find out how I did in reading or writing, speaking, or listening. And at the same time, tutors can go through my performance and tell me where I did well and where I did not do that well. I can practice time management, and this is a very good way to simulate the exam environment so that you become more familiar with the exam environment without spending too much time for just that purpose. So let's get started with one of the mock tests here, mock mini here, that is mock mini reading one. So now I'm starting the test. Once I start the test, it will start the timer, and it will also show me the total number of questions, as you can see on the top of the screen here. As you can see here, I have 17 questions that I'm supposed to finish in 34 minutes, which means I have 2 minutes per question, and that's exactly what Pearson also does in the test. Since I'm not doing the other questions today, I'm directly jumping to reading and writing, fill in the blanks. This is my first question of reading and writing, fill in the blanks. So in the exam, when you're answering these questions, how should you do it? I suggest that when you are doing reading and writing, fill in the blanks, you start reading from the beginning until you reach the first gap. When you reach the first gap, have a look around and look at the options and try to make a choice based on 3 things: based on grammatical structure of the sentence, based on the meaning of the words given there, and based on the logical context. These 3 things are really important to apply. And also keep in mind the 5 important tips and tricks for reading and writing fill in the blanks that I discussed in the previous video. And you can find the link for that down in the description as well. So let's have a look at this question to find out what should be the answer and why. Before the start of World War I, the Gibson girl was the race. She did not date and waited until a proper young man to her for marriage. Now if I look at the options, I can see proposed, rejected, denied, and agreed. One thing I can instantly notice here is proposed and agreed are 2 positive words, whereas rejected and denied are negative words. Now, based on my context, I can see that I need a positive word. So I'm going to choose either proposed or agreed. And because this is marriage, proposed is a better word. Proposed to her for marriage. Another reason here is agreed is not followed by to when you are agreeing with somebody. And that's another reason why I'm not picking that word. Now, in the next question, if I keep reading, I can see, however, nearly a whole generation of young men had died in the war, leaving a whole of young women. A whole of young women. What could be the answer? And if you look at the words here, all these words have almost the same meaning. Now, when you look at the words and you find that all the words have same meaning, that means it's a question of connotation. Does that mean? When we are learning words, we are applying new words, we have to keep in mind two important concepts regarding vocabulary. We call them denotation and connotation. Denotation means the meaning of the word, and connotation means the implied meaning of the word, or you can call it the application of the word, where the word is used and in what sense the word is used. So in this particular question, you can see that we are talking about young women, and these are young women from a particular age group. So what is the word used for that kind of groups? Now, if we look into the question from that perspective, then we can easily see that that would be generation. But there is another reason I will pick generation here, because if you start from here, however, nearly a whole generation of, so you can see here, generation is the word used here as well. A whole generation of young men, and you are comparing the generation of young men with the generation of young women. And that's why generation is a better choice here. Then if I keep reading on, that I can see the new women broke away from their set conventions, turned fashionable, they, the black wool stockings, and became crazy about new fashions. Wore rayon stockings, fit ankles and calves formerly hidden, were now on show. Now, again, if I look at the options, I have three options here: adopted, discarded, and created. Adopted means to take in, discard means to throw away, and created means to create something. Out of these three options, I can safely eliminate created because it does not make any sense here. Now, that is another thing you should practice doing. When you're not exactly sure which is the answer, start with the elimination. Delete the word that you know for sure is not the answer, and then focus on the ones that you could not eliminate. In this case, we have eliminated created, and we are now thinking about adopted and discarded. Adopt means to take in, discard means to throw away or to stop doing something. And from that perspective, we can see that since now they are wearing a different kind of stockings, rayon stockings, that means they must have stopped wearing black wool stockings. And that means my answer should be discarded. Let's have a look at the next question here. The famous film star Louis Brooks became the ideal for young girls. Brooks' exuberance was her life, her contacts with the wealthy, and her lifestyle. So I can see this is a word which is describing lifestyle. Now, if I look at the options, I can see glamorous, lavish, conservative, superficial. And again, I can see conservative and superficial are two negative words here, are words with negative connotation, whereas glamorous and lavish have positive connotation. Now, I can safely eliminate conservative and superficial because of their negative connotation, and glamorous and lavish can be a little confusing for me. In this particular question, I need to know the difference between glamorous and lavish. Glamorous means showy, lavish means luxury plus show. That means if you are living a glamorous life along with the luxury, that means you have luxury as well as wealth, that means you are living a lavish life. And looking at the context here, because she's living her life with wealthy and she's also becoming someone who other people might follow, the proper word, the most appropriate word would be lavish. Now the last one here is, they were supposed to follow the dictates of men, and domesticity was the chief ideal to maintain chastity and purity. To be, to maintain. To be, to maintain. To continue. That means you want to continue something. And if you want to continue something, that means you need to keep doing something. And if you look at the options here, you can again see that some options have negative connotations and some options have positive connotations. Shunned and ignored means, shun means to keep away, and ignore means to stop paying attention to something. Pursue and trust means to follow. So that means because they are maintaining their chastity and purity, shunned and ignored cannot be the answer. The answer must be either pursued or trust. So let's see which one will be the answer. Chief ideal, to be. Now the clue for me here is ideal. What do we do with ideal? Which word is more commonly used with ideal when you're following the ideal? And that word is pursued, because trust is usually used for objective things. Trust is usually used for physical things. So you can see here in this particular question, the clue for me came from the words around the gap. And in this case, it was ideal. And here I picked the word pursuit because pursuit more commonly comes with ideal compared to dressed. And this is what we call collocations. Collocations are simply common combinations of words which can help us in picking up the right word, make us sound more native-like, and help us in maintaining the fluency while speaking as well. And Pearson emphasizes on learning collocations. And I also believe that learning collocation, in fact, is a better way to learn the language and be good at it rather than just memorizing the rules. So this is how you should answer fill in the blanks reading and writing questions. In the future, I'll be answering more questions like this using our platform so that you can get an idea about how to do these questions. If you want to do these things yourself and want to get the benefit of feedback as well as practicing thousands of past questions, then please visit romanptmelbourne.com.au and look at our available plans for online classes. If you are in Melbourne, you can also visit us. We are located near to Melbourne Central Station. In any case, I wish you all the best, and I hope in your next exam you will be able to get the score you are looking for. If you have any comments or suggestions about this video, please write in the comment section below. And do not forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. Until my next video, have a good time and see you soon.